Shalom, Call Halal Yahweh Shem Shai, the honors of the apostles and elders of great millstone who are well. Salutations to the brothers on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. This is Ira from Great Millstone, Wisconsin, and I wanted to go into a little bit of history on these heathenistic Olympic Games. Because the custom is the Olympic Games are from the way of the heathen, which were the Greeks at that time, man. And these Olympic Games were forced upon Israel at that time, and Israel's been participating in these Olympic Games, as at this day, like you're saying right now. But also at these Olympic Games, participating in these Olympics are also the worship of the gods of the heathen, man. Because this all goes back to the roots of Greek mythology. And I'm going to read this article here on Wikipedia, which is going to tie to the ancient Olympic Games. But I just want to read this modern Olympic Games in Wikipedia first. This is from the Wikipedia. It says the modern Olympic Games or Olympics are leading international sporting events featuring summer and winter sports competition in which thousands of athletes from around the world participate in a variety of competitions. The Olympic Games are considered the world's foremost sports competition, with more than 200 nations participating. The Olympic Games are held every 4 years, with the summer and winter games alternately by occurring every 4 years but 2 years apart. Their creation was inspired by the ancient Olympic Games, which were held in Olympia, Greece, from the 8th century BC to the 4th century AD. And I just wanted to stick on this topic here, and it's going to segue right into the ancient Olympic Games. It's going to tell you, the origin of why it started, and we're going to get into, the worship of these other gods, man. And we're going to get into the scriptures, of course. It says ancient Olympic Games. The Olympic Games were a series of athletic competitions among representatives of city-states, and one of the Pan-Hellenic Games of ancient Greece. They were held in honor of Zeus. So here's the number one god being worshipped here. They were held in the honor of Zeus, and the Greeks gave them a mythological origin. So they made up a whole story to go with the god that they were worshiping just to participate in this heathenistic crap, man. The first Olympics is traditionally dated to 776 BC. They continued to be celebrated when Greece came under Roman rule. So now you see, from all the way from 776 BC, even to the Roman times, it's still going on, until the Emperor Theodosius I suppressed them in 393 AD. So that's well over a millennium, man. Well over a millennium in a millennium, 300 years. So the heathen, forced these upon, their city states. Like I said, representatives of city states, man, meaning states or countries that were absorbed into the Greek Empire, man. That were their own entity. It says, as part of a campaign to impose Christianity as a state religion of Rome, the games were held every 4 years, or Olympiad, which became a unit of time in historical chronologies. But let me go into the history really quick. Let's see. So here we go. It says, to the Greeks, it was important to root the Olympic Games in mythology. During the time of the ancient games, their origins were attributed to the gods, and competing legends persisted as to who actually was responsible for the genesis of the games. So now every event that they competed in had a different god that came with it, man. So every time you competed in that event, you were worshiping that specific god, And there's a key point here that I wanted to get into, because it exactly says that this is the worship of the gods. Here we go. I'll start right here. It says the games of previous millennia were discontinued and then revived by Lycurgus of Sparta, Iphitos of Elis, and Cleisthenes of Pisa, at the behest of the Oracle of Delphi, who claimed that the people had strayed from the gods. Ain't that a joke? Which had caused a plague and constant war. The restoration of the games would end the plague, usher in a time of peace, and signal a return to a more traditional lifestyle. The patterns that emerge from these myths are that the Greeks believed the games had their roots in religion, that athletic competition was tied to worship of the gods. So the athletic competition was tied to worship of the gods, man. There's no way getting around this. So it says, and the revival of the ancient games was intended to bring peace, harmony, and a return to the origins of Greek life. You know. So what does that sound like to me? It sounds like the one world order. And return to Greek life, meaning a return to Hellenistic Chauvin. I mean Hellenistic religion, man. You know. And not only were the Olympics, but these other gods and these other religions were forced upon us, during the Greek Empire. Well, the end of the Greek Empire, transitioning into the Roman Empire, with Antiochus Epiphanes, man. In this and it's documented in the scriptures. This is Second Maccabees chapter 4, verse 7. But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus called Epiphanes took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhand to be high priest. Now, if you don't know who Jason is, Jason was the son of Onias III, who was the high priest of Israel at that time. But this guy Jason, he was wicked, man. He wanted to be high priest himself, so he can have some type of stature about himself, so he can be in a seat of control and power, man. Just like Israel now today, wicked niggas just want power. It says, promising unto the king by intercession 303 score talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents. And what he was doing was wicked, man, because he was offering up the treasure or the other from the storehouses of the Levites, man. That was the money that we were storing for the homeless, for the Levites, so we can take care of, so we can do whatever is necessary, you know. But this man, this wicked man, this wicked nigga, he wanted to sacrifice it to the king, so he can join the Olympics, man. So they can join the way of the heathen, so they can be accepted, you know. Beside this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have license to set him up a place of exercise. So he was begging Antiochus to let him set up a gymnasium, a stadium, to set up Olympic Games, and for the training up of youth and the fashion of the heathen, you know. So not only did he want to accept Greek philosophy, but he wanted the past generation to accept Greek philosophy too, man. Which it speaks about in the law about passing your children through the fire. And that's exactly what he wanted to do, and many niggas like him. And for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus. Now that's a one world. That's the name of the one world order, man. At that time, Antiochus wrote a letter to all that was under the Seleucid Empire that was in Syria and Phoenicia, that all should be one people, you know. So this was their name, Antiochians, you know. Just like now, you have what? Americans. You have all these vastly different people living in this country, but they all want to call themselves Americans. We're all one people. We all bleed the same. All that bull crap, man. Which when the king had granted, and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion. So as soon as he got the power, he got rid of the laws quick. He got rid of the sacrifices. He got rid of the prayers. He praying. He got rid of the daily sacrifice. He got rid of everything that had to do with the Most High, just to save face with these damn Greeks, man. And the loyal privileges granted of special favor to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Eupolemus, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid, he took away, and putting down the governments which were according to the law, he brought up new customs against the law, which was uncircumcising himself, which is eating pork, sacrificing pork, things like that. For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection, and made them wear a hat. You know, that's exactly what they do in the Olympics. When NBA, NFL, and MLB players they sign their contract, what are they given? A hat to put on, man, showing you that you're under the Roman rule. It says that the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices. So he even made the priest discouraged, man. You know. hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise. So he made the priests want to go after the custom of the heathen, man, because they thought there wasn't no point in keeping the laws anymore, because nobody was trying to keep the law, and everybody thought that they were crazy, or everybody thought that it wasn't benefiting them or anything, or whatever crazy thought our people had in their mind at this point. It drove the high priest to not even believe in the Most High anymore, man, which is totally out of order and is a complete abomination. It says, hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus called them forth. So this was one of the games that they had back then, and they have it now today. Matter of fact, a Jake woman just won the gold medal in the discus. Not settling by the honors of their fathers, right? Not settling by the laws of the Most High, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. And that's what Israel is doing today, man. They like the glory of the Americans of this reincarnated Roman Empire better than their own culture, man. Tell Jake he's an Israelite now. Oh, I ain't worried about that. I'm trying to get to the Olympics, bro. But by reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they follow so earnestly, and unto whom they desire to be like in all things. You know? So the Lord brought, great calamity anguish among the people because they wanted to be like the heathen in all things, man. Just like now today. The reason why Jake is suffering today is because point blank period, they want to follow after these goddamn other nations, man. That's why the Lord is going to destroy 2/3 of you niggas, and we don't feel us at Great Millstone, Lord willing, with the elect. We don't feel no type of way towards it, man. We glad for you niggas to be put to death, man. We welcome it. Matter of fact, every time a nigga's put to death, we laugh and we pray, and we worship Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and we glory in that. You know, this is Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore thou hast also taught the wicked ones thy ways, and they are trimming their way to seek love, man. Trimming your way is, oh well, I'm not gonna worship Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I'm not gonna pray Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I'm gonna pray to Jesus Christ, so I can be accepted of Esau. You know, I'm not gonna, sacrifice. I mean, I'm not going to, pray to the Lord. I want to spend my time training to get to the Olympics and worship Zeus. It says, also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. Right. It's like the last scripture said. It said that he brought the youth to the Greekish fashion, man. He trained up the youth in the fashion of the heathen. You know, that's what this means, man. In their skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. So not only are their souls damned, but they damn the souls of the children that are coming up after them, generation after generation. Because that's all that they're gonna know is the way of the heathen, man, which is their death and destruction. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. And I wanted to go up to verse 14 real quick, and I'll end it there. Slack your brothers if this turned into a little bit of a rant, but it's irritating. This is Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? And the answer is hell yes, man. Because Jake breaks their neck to be slaves for these heathen nations, man, to provide entertainment. To provide nothing but entertainment, which only lasts before a moment. It says, why is he spoiled? And they spoiled because they failed to realize, and they failed to seek after Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But you know what? That's why they got death coming. So with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Call halal Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostle and elders of great millstone who rule well. And salutation to the brothers on the four corners of the earth, the hopeful elect, pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.